The almond-shaped eyes, the nose with a bridge, the high cheekbones, and full lips are all Afrocentric features. Hello, my name is Paige, and you're watching A Little Life with Paige. You're too pretty for a black girl is one of the most serious, ill-intent compliment ever heard or received in my life. Africa is a continent, and there are 54 countries that make up that continent. I will go into further say that we are then subdivided into there's North Africa, there's West Africa, there's East Africa, there's South Africa. Black people are not a monolith. We don't all look the same, and it's crazy that in this day and age we still give out compliments like you're too pretty for a black girl, or are you mixed, or where are you from, or where are you really from, when someone is clearly telling you where they're from. Being a black woman is a very beautiful but tender experience. That's the best way I'm going to put it. Where you're constantly made fun of because of the features you're naturally born with, like having full lips, or how curvy you are, and just for there to be this 180 where people are paying thousands of dollars, people are risking their lives to get the same features that you were basically made fun of your whole life. There's that line of things. There's also the other end where people can't admit to themselves that they find black features attractive, so we have rebranded them as Eurocentric features, like the high cheekbones, the almond-shaped eyes, the full lips, the nose with a bridge. We're going to put on our imaginary glasses and welcome to class. I'm going to be taking you guys to biology class. We're going to be discussing evolution because my pre-med didn't go to waste, and I'm going to talk about it. Number one, a lot of scientific evidence shows that earliest human fossils were found in Africa. There's been some discussions on early fossils were found in East Africa. Some say it's in North Africa. Regardless, it's in Africa. Evolution of humans could be pinpointed to there. If someone is your predecessor, you get your traits from them. A plain example of this would be mother and child. You can't tell a mother you look like your daughter. The mother came first. The daughter looks like their mother. You can't say a nose with a bridge is a Eurocentric feature. If people who came before you, situated in a different part of the world, had that feature first. I like to talk science because I know some of you like to talk. As human beings, we do share ancestry, and depending on your locality, like where you're found, adaptation happens, and then certain features are made more prominent for others depending. There's evolution by natural selection, survival of the fittest. We're very adaptable. You have to continually adapt to survive. For example, now I'm from Nigeria and we are in the tropics. We have a higher exposure to UV rays. So that's why we are more melanated. That's why I'm dark skinned, to protect me from UV rays. And the western part of Africa is also known for being hot, being humid. And that's why there you could find a variation of people having wider and broader noses to help with airflow and heat exchange. For places where there are no much UV exposures, like people have less melanin because your skin is not subjected to being damaged by excessive UV rays. And outside of Africa, in North America, in Europe, why you would see people with more narrow nose with a bridge, longer noses, because in this part of the world, the air is colder. So if your nose is longer, it's going to take more time to get within you before it gets into the lungs. The essence of just this longer nose and having this more narrow nose is for more time to be used to warm the air that gets into your lungs. And this can also be linked to other parts of Africa where the weather is not as hot or humid. Back to my main conversation of black people are not monoliths. Countries found in the eastern part of Africa like Ethiopia, Eritrea, and even North Africa like Morocco, they're usually drier, like climate wise, and colder, so they also have more narrow noses just for better breathing, more efficient breathing. Location matters. Most of these countries, like Ethiopia, is located in a higher altitude. Air is thinner, air is drier. So you need to moisturize that dry air before it gets to the lungs. Then finally, we're going to be talking about gene variation and gene flow, because over time in the selected gene pool, traits are being passed down from one generation to the other. So that's why certain subgroups could tend to look alike, or even within the subgroups, variation would always still exist. There's variations between us, but we are all more similar than we think, you know. But I just find it how when certain features are admirable, physical features admirable or attractive, we just slap the term Eurocentric on it. That's not true. So when next you want to give a compliment, using it that way, it's insulting. It's insulting, I ain't gonna lie. It's almost comical how I hear a lot of people talk about their experience in school and how they were bullied for having certain features, having like full lips or big lips, or bullied for their eye shape or skin color. But now there's certain people will tan all year long using fillers to achieve the full lips, you know. Or a lot of black people being bullied for their nose. But the American Society of Plastic Surgeons highlights that white people do get more rhinoplasty than any subgroup in terms of race. Even with that stats, it's not as straightforward as that, because in America, like, white people are the largest number of population. It's like you have more access to that kind of procedures. So we would still have to go deeper in terms of that statistics. But as of now, what the statistics says is that white people do get more rhinoplasty procedures. You were too pretty for a black girl. What does that even mean? What does that actually mean? It's so backhanded and such a useless compliment to give. If you just pay attention, you would see how more similar we are. There was this trend on Twitter where people were like, Earth can be so boring. I wish we had like fairies. We just had mystical creatures. And somebody was like, we couldn't even handle different skin colors. And I was like, ooh. And another person was like, if they were like mystical creatures, humans would take them and force them to do work for free. Actually just broke my heart. Not us wishing for fairies when we can't even treat each other with like basic decency. Now we're done with like the science part of it. The point I'm trying to drive home is, if you're a young black girl watching this video, I want you to know that it's not you're beautiful irrespective of your blackness. You can't split the two. You're black and beautiful. You're beautiful because of your blackness. That is what makes you you. Looking back now, I've come to realize that kids can be very mean. Kids can be very mean, and we could go into that because most times it's learned behavior from family, from their friends, from what they see at home. Certain things can be very damaging, especially going through bullying because of your physical features. It's such a visceral reaction to existing now in this day and age and having people go to the ends of the earth to obtain certain features that you were bullied for. It's crazy. Things happening that way could cause a lot of damage, especially in your formative years. The world is a beautiful place, but it's also a cruel place, and you have to learn to filter out things. Okay, don't forget to be the light and sunshine you are in your life, and then radiate that onto others. Not being comfortable in your own skin or experiencing body dysmorphia because of beauty standards is a thing. It's a real thing that needs to be acknowledged. Being kind doesn't cost you anything. Recently, there's been this trope of a lot of people talking about how many years down the line they're getting messages from their high school bullies apologizing for how they treated them, all the things they said or whatever. There was one that really pissed me off on how he framed it as he has a daughter right now, and like, I'm like, how does your daughter link to what you did to a poor girl? Like, I hate the fact that it has to get there before you start to understand or realize the gravity of certain things you do. You know, now we're sort of moving through this world like you don't owe anybody anything. You owe your future self, because imagine you bullied somebody 10-15 years ago, but now your future self now has to come and apologize for something you did in high school or something you said in high school, or how you made someone feel. Please, you owe yourself kindness. You owe yourself to give out kindness, because it's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. I come to the end of this video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope we all do embrace our God-given futures, because there's a lot of beauty and diversity. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.